Hi there, welcome to Man Cave. Today we're going to be asking the question to mask or not to mask. There's been a lot of debate on the news about whether or not we should be wearing face coverings during this coronavirus period. Personalities on TV like Dr. Hillary on GMB have been saying, well, no, it's pointless wearing a mask, it won't give you any protection, and you're more likely to catch the virus wearing a mask because you're wearing it wrongly than if you're wearing one at all, not wearing one at all. But I think really there's a lot of confusion, and people, when I go out, and I've been out to the shops, and there's a lot of people not wearing anything at all, and there's a lot of people wearing anything from surgical masks all the way up through to half masked P3. And I just thought I'd spend a couple of minutes and just explain to you what these things are all about, because rather than go out thinking that you're protected, wouldn't it be a lot nicer just to have a little bit of background knowledge on these things? So we'll start, in fact not with that one, we'll start with bandana. Now, I've always got bandanas. I wear them during the winter. I take the dogs out for a walk every night, rain, sun, moon, whatever. In the winter, always wear one of these because it keeps me warm, and it's basically, because I'm baldy, I can pull it up, I can pull it back, I can do whatever I like with it. Very handy things, but in the case of protecting myself and with a face covering, very useful. These things stay in place. I feel a little bit more secure, but is that a falsehood? Probably, because these things aren't going to stop you from catching an infection from somebody else. All they might do is, if you have an infection and you sneeze or you cough, it will catch it in here and possibly stop it from spreading to somebody else. But in terms of you being protected as the wearer, nah, it just isn't going to work. And I think that's what this Dr. Hillary chap is kind of talking about. A little bit of knowledge can be a dangerous thing. And then you've got effectively the simple surgical mask that you pull on and hook over the ears, and again, we're seeing people wearing these proudly around the supermarket, thinking, I've got a level of protection here, I can't catch anything now, I've got a surgical mask on, but they're useless. They're not sealed. The microbes, the germs, the virus can come in all the way around, so if somebody else is near you and breathes on you or coughs on you, that isn't going to give you anything like a level of protection. Again, like the bandana, it's going to basically help you, if you have an infection, from spreading it to somebody else. So completely useless. The first level of mask that offers the wearer any level of protection is the N95. And if you have an N95 mask, which is more fitted, it's better filtered, it fits around, it doesn't get wet because it's poking out like a big duck's bill on the front there, those things will stop germs hitting you. They will give you a level of protection, and as the name suggests, they will give you up to 95% protection if somebody coughs at you. But I'm going to come on to that in a moment. So that is your typical N95 as opposed to your standard surgical mask. Then you can go a stage further, and because I do a bit of paint spraying in my hobby time and various other DIY tasks, a while ago I went out and bought myself a half mask, and this one is this particular one is a 3M, although there's lots of generic versions of this. And what this does is quite simple. It sits over and you tighten it around the back, and that basically gives you a filtered level of protection to P3. Now this one has got twist off filters which you can replace, and these filters are in two parts. So the thicker part, which connects onto here with the brown band on here, is I think the gas and fumes filter, and then covered by this plastic cowling in there, this is the P3, and P3 is the highest level of defence that you're likely to get. So that will filter up to 99% of particulates. it will give you the protection that you're thinking it's going to give you if you go out and on the tube or on the trains or the buses. That will give you a good level of security. But quite honestly, it's so big. I haven't seen anybody, maybe once, going around town wearing one of those. I mean, you can't exactly slip it into your pocket when it's not needed, and it's kind of unsightly. But what you can do, you can replace the filters. I mean, I think I always keep a set of filters. I've got some gas filters in there for the time being, but they're pretty good. But we're still going to come back to the crucial point. On the same vein, then I've got a couple of these Trend Air Stealth, and this again, similar to the 3M, is another P3 filter, and the filter is in there, and that's removable. And I've got a couple of spares for when I need them. But to be honest, you don't need to replace them on a daily basis, and they're good for a while. You don't touch them, they sit in there, and they do their job for quite a while, quite frankly. They will filter. And what this one does is exactly the same way as the 3M. It will fit over the back of the head and tie around the neck, and give you that level of protection that you're looking, and it's very comfortable. I mean, that, to be fair, you can wear for hours at a time, although again, you're going to look fairly strange walking around, but wouldn't you rather look rather strange than fall ill and possibly worse with coronavirus? So those are the options. But then here's the important thing. These, the 3M, the N95, the surgical mask or the balaclava, however purposeful, however useful they may or may not be, they mean absolutely nothing unless you understand that you can catch coronavirus through your eyes. So if somebody's breathing on you, the mucous membranes in your eyes are a great soak up for that virus particulate. And it's important that if you are wearing one of these, or you're wearing one of the lesser masks, that you also combine that with an eye covering. Now, ideally, that's why you see in the ICU wards on TV that they've all got their glass screens. Well, very difficult to go walking around wearing one of those all the time, but what you can do is wear a reasonably well fitted pair of sunglasses. I know I've got a pair of Boll fitted work sunglasses, and they wrap around, so I use them for close quarters things, but in bright daylight. And anyway, whatever, they fit snug and they've got big wraparound side parts, and they will actually stop at least the spray coming at you. They're not going to stop anything that's airborne, because again, it can get around there. So even with these, you're still at risk if you're not covering your eyes. And if you're not covering your eyes with a sealed wraparound, you're still at risk again. It just depends on the level at which you want to present yourself to the world, the level at which you're going to be travelling on public transport, and the perceived risk that you think you're going to catch something by not covering up totally. I mean, if I had my way, everybody would be in bright yellow jumpsuits, PVC jumpsuits with full headgear and masks and everything else, and we'd kill this virus off within 6 weeks, because quite frankly, nobody would be able to catch it, and those that already had it would be isolated and gone until this thing was eradicated. But that isn't the society that we live in, and so we have to make the best of what we've got. So I hope that gives you just a little bit of an insight into the world of masks and whether we should or whether we shouldn't. Personally, on the London Underground, I'm taking this one with me, and I'm taking my my Boll wraparound safety glasses as well. I will look a bit crazy, but who's going to recognise me dressed up in all that garb? So to be honest, I'd rather stay fit and healthy if I can than risk anything stupid on the tube or the buses or whatever. So hope that helps. See you next time.